Hello there! You can probably realize that I'm actually talking now. You guys are zoomed in really far, by the way. Oh, that's... Sorry, I'm zooming you in further. So yeah, I just did an experiment and then my camera died. So, this is the aftermath. There's water and oil in here. I'm gonna tilt this up so that you guys can see it. That's just my wall. It's nothing important. You can see that right there is oil, and that right there is food coloring water. You can see that some of the food coloring is actually in the oil. Let me tilt you guys back down. That is because food coloring is just as thin as oil is. I think oil is actually used in the production of it, and I actually think that why you can see that is not in the oil. It just looks like it is. So yeah, I would have shown you guys the experiment, except for I already did it, and like I said, my camera just died. So I was thinking, what if I showed you my I don't know. Oh yes, I have painted a marvelous dog. It's heavy. Yep, that's my dog. I'm gonna try to shade him. There. You know what, I'm just gonna turn my light off. Oh, there you go. You can see him. Yeah. And those two white things on his eyes, like, right about there, I painted those. Those are not glare, if you feel like you're seeing too much glare. Anyway, let me turn my light back on. Just gonna put my dog back over here. I wanted to talk about why water and oil do this in the first place. So water is very, very thick, right? You can't compress it. You can't compress it any more than it already has. It's like compressing my fist, but I can't compress it anymore. Oil is not that compressed, but you can't really compress it that easily. Food coloring is basically the same way, but the whole fact that it just doesn't have enough weight. I don't know this for sure, but I think oil is just as dense as water, but water weighs more than oil. So, yeah, you can see I've kind of spilled this on my desk. I have a white towel, which is perfect. I have more, but this is not all I'm going to talk about today. I'm also going to talk about aerodynamics. This is not just a science channel. I just talk about a lot, like building and lots of things. That's why it's called, I don't even remember what my own channel is. Anyway, wait here while I go get a model of a jet, and we can see how well it moves through air. Okay, I'm back. Here's my model. So yes, it's a Blue Angels. If anybody knows exactly like what model this is, can you tell me? It also has lost its thing, so it is going to be a little different. But the reason jets are so fast, not just because they're lightning speed engines, or they're very fast and looking really cool intakes, it's because of the shape of them. If they had propellers, they would be slower, but thanks to their pointy nose, it pushes the air out. It doesn't just go around it. That would slow it down even more. It pushes it out. There's circles around an airplane like this, and once the circle is like all the way around, a bigger circle appears. And then when a plane breaks the sound barrier, those are all pressed up against it, and then they go through it, and it creates the sound barrier. So to anybody who was wondering, yep, that's it. It's very dusty. It's kind of old, actually. It's still mine, but yeah, anyway. Another reason why they're so fast, their wings are very, very, very thin, but they're pretty strong. This thing actually does fly in the wind. It's made of plastic. You can hear it on wood. It does say Blue Angels on the side. I don't know if you guys can see it. There. And then it's the U.S. Navy, the under part. Anyway, this is not all I wanted to talk about. The sound barrier is just a group of circles. They just keep getting bigger. They're not like a spiral. They're individual circles. So, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about the sound barrier. Well, now it's time to figure out how, well, I don't even know. I honestly didn't know what this was going to go this way, but this is not just going to be a boring video where I talk about science. Energy is, indestructible. Well, that is true, and it cannot be made, but it can be compressed. So if it's thin like air and then it gets compressed into oxygen, or liquid oxygen as said, or if air was steam, or I don't know, oxygen, which it's basically that, or carbon dioxide. All of it can be compressed smaller. They all come together into one, and they compress into a very big molecule. Actually, I don't know if they're that big, but they're definitely denser. And another thing I wanted to talk about, pressure is only made when something is shrunk, right? Yes, that is true, but there is also a method for vacuuming, which is what space is, which almost all of us know. It's okay if you don't, but if you realize my finger's blue, I don't need it amputated. It's just the dye that I stuck my finger. Actually, it wasn't this video. I dyed my finger blue. I don't really know. Anyway, let's get back to vacuuming. When oxygen is generally not thick, but it's dense enough that it won't just fall apart into oblivion. But when it's decompressed, it will expand into something thinner. And that's what space is. It's vast. It's not empty, though. There's tons of things in it. For example, take my blue finger as Earth, and then Mars is my other usual colored finger. They're in space, right? So it's not empty, as you hear sometimes on the shows. They don't say they're complete. It's completely empty, but it's actually not empty at all. It has atoms in it. If it didn't have atoms in it, it most likely would not exist. It can't exist in the universe. Another thing I wanted to show you is the impossible triangle. I'll flash a picture of it on the screen. So, the impossible triangle is something that cannot exist in real life because of reality. It's physically impossible. You can't have something that just twists turns and doesn't have just doesn't look like an impossible triangle. An impossible triangle cannot exist in reality, in the real universe. But it can exist in 2D. It cannot exist in 3D. If it existed in 3D, squares would most likely be so turned, it would look so weird. Everything would look weird if the impossible triangle could really exist in real life. Anyway, enough about the impossible triangle 2. I do, in fact, know what the sun is made of. It is not burning. It is actually not burning. It's really not on fire. It is burning, but it's not on fire. You might say, well, oh please, that's impossible. But I'll flash a picture of the sun too. It is not burning. It's not on fire anyway. It is burning, but it's not on fire. You ask yourself, how is that possible? Well, in the universe, things are happening that you don't even know. There are chemical reactions in the air when you breathe. Your lungs filter out the oxygen, and your blood brings it to every part of your body. And then when it comes back, it gives all the carbon dioxide to the lungs, and then it kicks it out. As you know, you probably know that you have at least 200 bones in your body. There's actually 206, and the smallest one is in your ear. I'm just giving you facts at this point, but you can just watch my interesting hand movements. Magician-y. Anyway, there's one more thing I want to talk about. How light is made. If anybody can guess in the comment section, you have to pause this video right now to do it. No cheating and no fast forwarding. I don't know how to talk. No doing that or you're disqualified. Now if you guess, you guessed right. Guess how light is made. I will give you 10 seconds. Okay, I'm bored. Yes, it was very silent. You probably thought I was going to quit talking. And you won't hear my beautiful voice. Anyway, enough with my beautiful voice. Light is actually made from energy, which is, in fact, indestructible. So light is pretty much indestructible. Pretty much. I said pretty much. I didn't say it was all the way. I don't know this. I'm just trying to tell you, and if you look it up and it's wrong, don't blame me. I heard these on YouTube and just decided I was going to tell them. Anyway, you cannot, in physical reality, you cannot have, like, a black hole is so massive. They don't even have to be big. One the size of this lamp that I'm using right now. That lamp. I don't think you can see it because of the blinding light. Or the size of this food coloring. it would probably weigh as much as our house, which I'm not going to show you. I don't really even want to. Anyway, yes. They're not even that small. They're not even that big. They're so small you can barely even see them. You probably can't. And all of the matter that are stuff that they bring in and crush, it goes all the way to that little point in the middle, while it's surrounding and sucking everything in, and it goes all around that thing. It orbits. That little tiny thing is so massive. The size of this house would most likely weigh as much as the sun. That's incredible, right? Anyway, I forgot what I was gonna say. But don't worry, I still have facts for you. Sound cannot travel without air. It has to vibrate the air to make sound. If there was no air, you couldn't hear me. If you're watching this in a vacuum, I don't know how you're hearing me unless you have a pair of earphones, which I have, but I'm not taking them up here right now. Anyway, yes, sound can only move in air. It cannot be in a vacuum. It can also not be... It's destructible very easily, actually. Yeah, have you ever heard of a room that's soundproof? All they do is secure it so hard to the ground that it cannot vibrate, so you can't hear anything in it. You can hear things in it, but they are so quiet that you usually can't. There's a really loud semi coming down my road, and you guys might be able to hear it. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, do you hear that right now? Like, I'm listening to it, and it's not a semi. It's like the Corvette that I did. It sounds 70 times bigger, but we don't have cars that big. Anyway, next video, I might have a special thing to take apart. Stay here, and I'm going to get it. You're going to hear quite a bit of moving. There's my hand. I'm just going to get my thing. We have a special guest. We might be taking that apart next video. How would you like that? I will show you guys the rest of it once I get in my chair. It's kind of crowded in here. Yeah, I don't know if any of you know what that is, but if you can, tell me in the comments below. Yeah, the door's open. Yeah, there's actually a lot of things that can go on with this thing. We could take it apart. The drive shaft kind of moves, as you can see. But, yes. There's even an interior, pretty detailed. So yeah, be excited to see this thing in our next video. It also makes, like, real things. Wait, why isn't... Okay, it just lied to me. Yeah. This is gonna be fun to take apart. And then, well, I will probably already have it taken apart. That Corvette that you watched me put together, I actually took that apart. I've had that for like 6 months. I just didn't have any new car models. So I might end up taking this bad boy apart. I also have another one. I don't know where it is. Anyway, suggest your ideas for fun. I don't have a computer that has like gaming, so if anybody wants to see gaming on this channel, it's going to be many moons down the road. Anyway, comment with what you have to do or have fun with in the comment section below. And I will see all of you next time.